Good evening and thank you for joining us. There is no such thing as closure. Those are the words of a Toronto widow whose husband was killed in the line of duty. Sergeant Ryan Russell was run over by a snowplow in 2011. Today, after 3 days of deliberations, a jury found the driver not criminally responsible due to mental illness. With more on the verdict and the reaction, here's Mike DROLET.
I believe that Ryan deserved a lot better than this.
It was hard for Christine Russell to hide her emotions. Richard Kachkar, the man who was behind the wheel of the vehicle that killed her husband, Ryan Russell, was found not criminally responsible. He'll now go to a mental hospital for an indeterminate amount of time.
My family, most likely myself, will have to fight this for the rest of my life.
There's never going to be any sense of satisfaction from any outcome. We lost a man.
There was never any dispute as to who was driving the plow on January 12, 2011. It was Richard Kachkar. What the jury had to decide was Kachkar's mental state. During the 2-hour rampage through the streets of Toronto, he was heard repeatedly screaming about the Taliban and Chinese technology. And his lawyer used that to make a convincing case that his client was severely ill, if not psychotic. Sergeant Ryan Russell had no idea who was behind the wheel or what state of mind he was in. When he tried to get Kachkar to stop, he was hit and killed. For another hour, the slow-speed pursuit continued before officers finally blocked him in. He was tasered 3 times, yet still refused to stand down.
He has repeatedly, since his arrest, told everyone that he doesn't understand how it happened or why it happened.
So the jury had to balance what he did, how he did it, and most importantly, what role psychosis played. The Crown wanted first-degree murder, the defense not criminally responsible. Undoubtedly a controversial decision either way. There are 2 prominent cases that spring to mind. Guy Turcotte, who killed his 2 sons in 2009, and Vincent Lee, who beheaded a man on a Greyhound bus. Neither was found to be criminally responsible. Instead of jail, both were put in mental hospitals. Turcotte was released after 46 months of psychiatric care, and after only 4 years, Lee began receiving temporary absence passes. Now, there is considerable outrage born from those 2 cases. As a result, the federal government has tabled Bill C-54, which would not have affected the jury's decision on Kachkar, but will affect how and when he's released.
It will affect perhaps potentially down the road when Mr. Kachkar is being reviewed. They're trying to change the process. They want a judge to make a determination first as to whether or not somebody poses a high risk to reoffend, and then the review board will decide.
So once again, after 2.5 days of deliberation, the jury has found Richard Kachkar not criminally responsible. Robin?
Mike DROLET reporting tonight. Thanks, Mike.